Greetings my dears in love and light, Nikki Sutton here. Would you say sexuality is a part of the ego, or does the soul not have a sexuality since it isn't a physical being? Okay then, so with sexuality, it's more of a bias or a leaning on the soul's part. Let's say a soul, spirit, however you perceive it, a personality, essence, something that's projected from the higher self, however you perceive it. Let's say that being has had more male incarnations in a third density reality, or fourth, then there's more of an inclination, a bias or leaning towards that gender, which then affects your sexuality as well, because it depends what body vehicle you've incarnated into. So if you've had lots of female lives, and you just tend to therefore be more female and incarnate into a male's body, you might feel like a female trapped in a male's body. Or if you've had more male lifetimes and you incarnate here as a female and you have a bias towards just being used to being male, then you might feel like a male trapped in a female's body. Or you may not feel like that, you may not feel like you're trapped in anyone's body, but you may just be used to finding a certain sex or gender attractive. Or you may want to change your sex, or you may want to appear as a different sex or not change it. So there's a whole spectrum of different biases, a whole spectrum of different preferences. And this is because of the past experiences we've had. Well, past, time is an illusion. Never mind, I won't go into that now. But due to the experiences each point of consciousness, each person has had, the experiences as different genders, and the numbers of incarnations they've had of different genders, and basically what the higher self feels like at the time, feels like experiencing, then you'll have certain biases and preferences in this lifetime. And you may be incarnate as a male or female, but have preferences for the other. Whole spectrum, different preferences. Everyone's journey of learning and experience. Everyone's on their own journey. So we can't just fit into these different moulds. Yes, incarnated, male or female, but in the mind, it could be something else, different preferences, all different. So would I say that sexuality is part of the ego? Well, that's kind of a tricky grey area, because the ego is the sort of tangled web of you, containing your personality, your self-image, your self-esteem, how you perceive yourself, within reality. It's not about inflated ego. That's just a portion of it. It's you as a whole, including personality. Everything about you. Not physically, but everything about you and your personality and your preferences in this human lifetime. So sexuality is kind of part of the ego, and it will be woven into that, yes, but it seems to be more of a natural inclination or bias, because you're born into this reality with all these past experiences from other lifetimes, which the knowing, the biases, the preferences bleed through the forgetting process, and you just feel a certain way. You see, it's not really something that we choose. You don't choose your sexuality or choose how you feel about your gender. It's more of a bias or leaning that happens when we incarnate into this reality because of a subconscious remembering that comes through due to our past experiences in other lifetimes and the incarnations we've had. So it is part of our ego, in a way that it's a part that can't be readily changed or accessed, or it is something that we tend to have to accept about ourselves, because it's part of our soul essence. It's more to do with our soul and what it's done. And the ego is more of a human concept, a human structure that we can work on and change our perceptions, change our idea of self. These are all things that can be worked on, but the sexuality is more of a bias or leaning that occurs from a soul's point of view. So it does make up part of who we are and helps to construct our identity. So let's say I was bisexual, that would be part of my identity, who I am. It affects the way I behave, the way I perceive others, my wants, needs and preferences, my self-image. It may contribute to self-esteem more or less, but it is a baseline factor of sexuality. It's not something always that can be changed, or we want to change or address or anything, but it does contribute to the ego as a secondary thing, the way we think, act, behave, perceive. But as a base trait, it's not part of the human ego, it's more what the soul has done in the past. So I hope that helps. A little bit confusing the way I explained that, sorry about that. But anyway, if you would like to ask me a question, don't forget to put it in the comment section with the word question, so I can easily search using the keyword question through all the comments on all the videos at once. And I wish you much love. And don't forget to click subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to receive regular spiritual inspiration on your journey through life. Like and share also, because we're raising the mass vibration together. So go now in love and peace.